Hey folks, Doc Jake from Sioux Nation Ag Center here. We're taking a break from the cows to talk about how to pick up chicks. These kind of chicks. So just for fun, my wife and I picked up a few of these baby chicks here, and we're going to just have them around for a while as a fun project. And even though, those of us that spend a lot of times raising cattle know a lot about starting baby calves, starting baby chickens has a few different nuances. So we're going to go into just some basics on how to start chicks so that they can grow up to be the egg layers and the meat birds that you'd like to have at your place. Now if you're just going to have a few baby chicks, don't assume you have to have a world-class fancy setup for something like this. In our case here, we've actually put these in a dog crate here in our garage. As you can tell, we just cleaned out a little spot just for them to be at. Ideally, we want that temperature to stay very well regulated because one of the big needs for these guys is to have a good warm environment, but not too warm. Ideally, it wants to be about 95 degrees in there where the chicks are at. These guys might be just a titch bit cold because you can see they're kind of huddled together a little bit. In setting up the pen here, you'll notice this red cardboard material around the outside. One of the things we need to keep in mind when starting baby chicks is that drafts are the enemy of keeping them warm. The idea with having the cardboard around is to minimize the amount of drafts the chicks have. In addition, the reason why these chicks are in a dog crate is that they are very vulnerable to predators. And when you consider predators, you have to consider your household pets like dogs or cats as possible predators for these chicks. So we have them in a dog crate, so if one of the cats would happen to get into the garage, they would not eat our new baby chickens. Ideally, we set up this chicken pen before the chickens get there, and that way the temperature is the right temperature when the chickens get here. One of the first things you want to make sure they do is get a drink of water. Now, to prep the water, I like to put a little electrolytes in with the water. Having electrolytes in the water encourages the chicks to drink when they first get into their new environment. The nutrition provided by the electrolytes also help the chicks to overcome the stress of being transported to a new location. While it's necessary for them to have a good feed source very soon, it's best to wait for an hour before putting the feed in the pen with the newly arrived chicks. We want to make sure they get a drink of water prior to consuming the feed that we're going to put in there with them. You'll also notice here too that the water and the feed are not directly under the light. You need to leave that room under the light available for the chicks so that they can move to where they need to go based on the temperature in order to keep themselves warmer or let themselves cool off a little bit. If your water and feed are directly under the light, this will take away space that they need in order to self-regulate their temperature. So you might notice here that we've got the pine bedding in here, and this is pine shavings. I actually prefer pine chips because the pine shavings are small enough that the chicks will eat them. The pine chips are a little bit more coarse, they don't eat them. But you can probably see the amount of manure that's already present. This amount of manure that's present is from only being here for about 18 hours or so. So cleaning these pens out on a regular basis gets to be pretty important. So the pine chips you should have bedded at around a depth of 3 inches. Mine are bedded just a little more than 3 inches right now because I've got this cold concrete floor in this garage that they're at, and just wanted to make sure that they had plenty of good insulation there beneath their feet. So lastly, I wanted to talk about a product we offer here at Sioux Nation called Backyard Advantage. It's a layer feed that's developed specifically by Sioux Nation nutritionists that provides a foundation for productive hens. It's fortified with a very good, highly available source of calcium and phosphorus, as well as vitamin D, because we want strong eggshells and we want them to lay consistently. The goal with this product is we feed it from age 18 weeks onwards. It's offered to the chickens as a pellet size to ensure that each bite has the right amount of nutrients for egg production, and so we don't waste any feed. Now what's ironic about all this is a layer feed for adult chickens. We're filming in front of baby chickens that are broilers used for meat. But whatever. It's the only backdrop I got right now to work with. So folks, if you want to enjoy the benefits of Backyard Advantage, and just want to start your own chickens just for the fun of it, give the folks at your local Sioux Nation store a call. Dude, somebody pooped on your back. What is this garbage? They all just want to peck the sign. This is why we can't have nice things. Yo buddy, what you doing today? Just hanging out with my peeps.